Now, still to come, where has Bond gone? It's been years. I think it's about 3 years since the last Bond movie came out. Fans are getting impatient. We're going to be discussing it with an absolute Bond, well, I want to say geek, but that might be the wrong word. Expert, I suppose. Enthusiast.
OK, a lot of people saying James Bond and the new film, where is it? So we were talking earlier, it seems to be 3 years since the last film was released, and people want a bit more, but there's no script, there's no director, there's nobody, most importantly, has been cast to replace Daniel Craig.
So how much longer are we going to have to wait? We want to know when the next Bond film will be hitting cinemas. Well, who exactly should we talk to about all of this? We have chosen Matthew Pickup. He's the host of the Really 007 podcast. Really good to see you. Thanks for joining us, Matthew. How much longer then?
Well, that's the question we're all asking. It's been quite a while, as you say. It's been 3 years. And there doesn't seem to be any movement. By all accounts, there's no, as you say, there's no script, there's no director, there's no James Bond. So even if a few of those things were to be sorted today, it would still be a couple of years before we'd see Bond back on the big screen.
The main hurdle is to find a successor to Daniel Craig, and the strange way the last film ended. Where do your own affiliations lie as regards who should replace him, Matthew?
Well, obviously, it's a big and difficult question. Aaron Taylor-Johnson is someone who's been sort of heavily linked, and I think some bookies stopped taking bets on him becoming the new James Bond. You wonder whether those rumours have come from somewhere. They must have done. I'd be happy with him at this point. I just want it to get going. My choice probably would have been Henry Cavill. I think he's someone who would have embraced the role and somebody who's capable of doing it. But I think, he'd previously been Superman. He's involved with other franchises. So I'm not sure that it will be him. So I think Aaron Taylor-Johnson, let's go with him.
What if you're like me and you love the Bond films? I grew up watching them at Christmas. Families are enthusiasts, but I'm quite enjoying the pause. I feel like sometimes the continual reinvention of the wheel. Oh, we're going to have an even faster car, an even more beautiful woman coming out of the sea. Can't we just enjoy the old classics and, dare I say it, maybe even the books, rather than having to continually come up with new ones, which is really just more of the same?
Yeah, I think in some regards, a pause and a sort of refresh is a good thing. And, we've certainly had that. Obviously, for the last 3 years, there was a period after Licence to Kill, after Timothy Dalton's last film, between that and GoldenEye, which was actually the biggest period between Bond films from 1989 until GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan in 1995. So sometimes it is quite good for, as you say, a period of pause. But I think fans and even just film fans in general would like to know that there is something happening and that there are plans in place to start the process for a new film.
Matthew, just as we say goodbye to you, do you have a favourite? I mean, when you look at the franchise, is there one film that you would say, yeah, that's my favourite?
I'm not a big fan of ranking films, but I think Goldfinger is an absolute classic, and I think Sean Connery, who was probably the best in the role, was in his best, in that film. I also have a huge soft spot for The Living Daylights because I think it's got a little bit underrated. I think that Timothy Dalton did a great job in that role, and also at my wedding, my wife walked down the aisle to some of the music from The Living Daylights, so it's got a place in my heart.
I know who you're going to say, because you can't be impartial on this one. What? It's Roger Moore, isn't it? Because he's your mate. Yeah, but do you think he was the best genuine? Would you have to say that?
I think all the Bonds, including the ones that weren't supposed to be any good, Timothy Dalton, whatever, were all excellent. I think they really were very, very good.
Sean,
for me, Live and Let Die, which was Roger Moore's first Bond outing. I thought that was an excellent film. Did you like that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely loved it. I mean, I must have watched that countless times growing up. It was so good. Roger was great.
You sound like you like them all.
I haven't been quite as keen on some of the more recent ones. I wasn't so keen on Quantum of Solace. There are story aspects in Spectre I wasn't happy with. And the last one, various things happened in that that I'm not so happy with still.
Yeah, and controversially, I wasn't even that keen on a blonde Bond, so the idea of there being a female Bond or any of that happening, I just can't get past. It has to be a tall, dark and handsome public schoolboy, like in the book. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. We'll leave it there. Thanks very much indeed.
Yeah,
Matthew's the host of Really 007 podcast. Thank you very much.
I just had to Google who Henry Cavill is.
Would you know who he is?
Hard to prove.
Superman.
Yeah. I haven't watched Superman, but he's very handsome.
Yeah, but I think that goes against him. I think
Need to be tough.
the new Bond is now going to be based on Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Not on Roger Moore or
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, Pierce Brosnan's the most lovely man, I'll tell you.
I'd love to have met him. I'd love to meet him.
Oh, he's the sort of guy who say you've got 2 minutes from Mr. Brosnan, and you say right, and he'll go never mind, and you'll be talking for 20 minutes with him. He's very, very good. Lovely man.
Amazing. Right,
And
which
I
was
think
your
he's got
favourite?
a lovely relationship as well
Yeah,
with his
he's
wife.
been with his wife for a long time. It's one of the Hollywood marriages that's been a success story. Anyway, we digress, but do let us know your favourite Bond film, who your favourite Bond is, and who you'd like to see take up the role. Why not? We're always interested to know what you guys think.
But one person who definitely won't be getting the role is Paul Coy.
Why not?
Don't tell him I said that. Don't
I'm telling.
Just saying that between us and the viewers and listeners.
He'll be here in just a mo.
Okay. Oh, the big question of the morning.
Which would be your favourite Bond, Coity?
All different. I'm not just saying it, George Lazenby. I liked On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Great film.
It was a really good film.
But Telly
Diana
Savalas and Diana Rigg.
Diana Rigg. Doesn't she?
She was my first crush.
Was she really?
Yeah.
It's funny because Telly Savalas was mine.
I remember being 10 at the time, and you were able to buy these cards with bubble gum on Her Majesty's Secret Service, these James Bond
Was it the flat bubble gum that would go on the back of the
flat
cards?
bubble gum.
Yeah.
But I remember having the cards taken off me because there's this scene where Diana Rigg is laying a bet over a roulette table.
Oh, is she?
Say no more.
Say no more.
She's got a good rig.
There was too much.
Too much rig.
There was too much to see. Too much to see.
What was the game that they play though? When they have the paddle and they go dilly-bonk, and they always play that. It's like a dilly-bonk. And then it's like a French thing. Is it baccarat? Is that it, baccarat? Yes, sir, I can boogie.
Yes, right.
But they had a paddle and then they would flip the card over. There's no numbers on the card.
I've been in that casino where they played that, yeah.
Where is that, Monte Carlo?
Monte Carlo.
Right. Did you go dilly-bonk and turn the paddle over?
I had my whole dinner suit and everything there.
Did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
And did they say, Mr. Clooney, is there any chance that you'll be the next one?
Mr. Clowney, maybe.
Yeah.